Well, let's go for last thoughts here. Can you have your last word here, Barbara? I know, we really don't have time. I'm sorry. I thought I was making that clear. Yeah.
I'm really sorry.
Well, I'm going to interject a little bit of something positive. One of those after-school programs we've been visiting that is for kids in low-income neighborhoods is in Oakland, and we went a couple weeks ago. And they have, this is after school. Kids have been in school all day, and this is runs from 3 to 6 after school. And they have 90-minute workshops, they call them. And kids get to pick 2. They have one on Monday and Wednesday and one on Tuesday and Thursday, and do something a little different on Friday. But there's a volunteer there, or not a volunteer, a worker in the after-school program. And one of the workshops she runs is called Mad Science. Anyway, and she does experiments and talks to the kids about what they're doing, and they do them together. And the kids vote every term which workshops they want to be in, and Mad Science gets more votes than any of the others. So.
Well, another good piece of good news is when we were doing science well in San Francisco before No Child Left Behind, I had a lot of interaction with the elementary school teachers that we had worked with in the NSF project. And they would report that their attendance on the day they did science was better than any other day. The kids wanted to come to do the science. So when we do it right, we know what to do. We just have to do it. And we have to liberate teachers from the tyranny of tests and all kinds of other requirements that make their job almost impossible. I mean, as I said, my daughter's a teacher, and she started out as a young fresh master's degree student. She was teaching in Southern California. She did this for 5 years till she had kids, and she kept track of how much time she was spending and how much money she had to spend. She was spending, on average, 78 hours a week teaching. She was teaching science, high school science. And she was spending on average $3,000 a year to buy the stuff for the labs. And her, basically, I concluded there were 2 ways that teachers could go. They could either drop out, which her classmate did, who came from Stanford with her, or they could not try to be so ambitious, and they could try to see what they could do with 40 or 50 hours a week and without that money. But there was no way to teach the way they should, or they felt they should, with the kind of systems that requirements they have. I mean, no college teacher, I taught college for a year, would think of running all these labs with no lab assistant. There's no high schools have no lab assistant, no way to help you get supplies, set up anything. My daughter had 3 different preparations every day: AP chemistry, chemistry, and earth science. I mean, you have to be young to do this. So, you know, this whole the trashing of teachers that happens is so, first of all, unfair, and secondly, so destructive of getting good people to stay in teaching and go into teaching. So we have to, you know, in Finland, the other thing to say, teaching is the most demanded, most the profession is hardest to get into, even though it doesn't pay a huge amount. But everybody wants to be a teacher. They take something like 1 in 10 applicants. So this is where we have to get. How we get there is another question.
You know, I would like to remind everybody, a lot of times when we're talking about science, education, and that kind of thing, we keep hearing the term the best and the brightest, and the best and the brightest here, and the best and the brightest there. And I go back to a person who was fantastic in the education field in the 30s and 40s, Carl Rogers. And he always talked about the extraordinary potential of the ordinary person. And so I think that we don't ever want to say No Child Left Behind again, but we want to understand that ordinary people over time who are motivated can do extraordinary things. And we don't want anyone like that to be left behind. Very good. Dr. Bruce Alberts, Dr. Barbara Means, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Moira, also. Thank you all for being here and for your patience. I think we've heard that there's extraordinary opportunity for improvement. So thanks for leaving things on a high note. And again, thank you for coming. If you take a couple of minutes to fill in the evaluations, I know the festival would really appreciate that. And I hope to see you Sunday at AT&T Park, rain or shine, for some hands-on activities. So thanks all very much.